Woo! What's going on, guys? It's me, the Hex Guy from NYC, Razor here, and we are finally here. It is time for NPL Season 7. This is going to be my 7th season in the league. I think I have a pretty decent team. I'm excited. Let's jump right into the matchup. This week, Week 1, we are going to play Blake, aka MoxieInfernape, coach of the Baltimore Braviaries, and I'm going to put his team right up here on the screen so you guys can see when we compare the matchup in the team builder. So, on his team, he has MoxieInfernape as his Zmon, Zygarde 10%, Togekiss, Snorlax, Registeel Jolteon, Almamola, Aselgor, Rampardos, and Mega Venu. So, one thing I want to say before we get into the match is a couple things about his team, things that I really like in this matchup. One, he only has one form of Hazard Mover, which is his Togekiss with Defog. So right there, that's already a really good start since we have Hazard set HO. And his only ground immunity is his Togekiss. So Mamoswine against his team has a bit of a field day if we can take down some of the threats, that including mostly Infernape and Rampardos and Aselgor to an extent if it's not low enough to be into Ice Shard range. Necrozma, very scary threat, very good setup mon. Infernape hits hard like a truck. Zygarde 10%. I only have 1000 air resist, which is my chestnut. Snorlax, very big bulky mon. Very good curse setup. Regimola, really annoying core to deal with. That core is like the bane of my existence. Is literally the reason I don't play RU anymore. If that still is RU, I don't even know RU anymore. Jolteon, very fast, very scary offensive threat, but we do have the Thunder T with the Volt Absorb, and we do have Mamoswine, and we do have Megalodios to resist. I don't think Jolteon's going to be that useful for him. Aselgor, very fast, very scary offensive threat. Rampardos, it's a Rampardos. I don't know what the hell that thing's going to do. I play NU. I use Rampardos offense. I don't think it's coming to this matchup. Unless it's maybe like Scarf. And then Mega Venu, very fat, very bulky mon. In this matchup, though, I do predict him to be a much more offensive form of Venu. I don't think he can afford to really go complete bulk, because he has to have if he wants to do what is it? Hold on. Basically, what he has to have fire for Fortress if he wants to deal with that, because Giga Drain and Sludge Bomb won't do anything to it. He's got to have Sludge Bomb for things like Azumarill and Chestnut. And then I do expect Giga. I think it's a very good move on it, just because he can get the health back, and then probably Synthesis 4th move. That's pretty much the set that I think he would be. So that's how I built around the Venu. Now we're going to get into the team builder. So, first mon. I also the nicknames will get better next week. These are just some last second nicknames that I did. But first mon up, we have Thundurus, Therian, Raiden with Agility, Thunderbolt, Psychic, and Nasty Plot. Double Dance Thunder T, one of my favorite Thunder T sets to run. It pretty much just has enough speed to outspeed max speed Togekiss. Max special attack modest, 68 HP. After an agility, I outspeed everything on its team. With Nasty Plot, Electrium Z will have it pretty much kills almost anything on his team. Spadef Necrozma has Spadef Necrozma takes a shit ton from it, and the only thing that's immune to that is his Jolteon and his Zydoge. Mega Venu doesn't take that much from it, Snorlax doesn't take that much from it, but a +2 Psychic does OHKO a Mega Venusaur from full. So that's also very nice against this team. I just think this set's very good. I think it's a very good potential sweeping set, especially if something like Snorlax is out of the way. Then we have Kyle's baby, the Azumarill, obviously shiny for Lemon. And this is a very weird Azumarill set that me and my friend Magic thought up of. And it's going to be leftovers huge power, max HP, enough speed to... was the outspeed something? Outspeed Almamola maybe? Or no speed to something like that. And basically, I think it was outspeed no speed Necrozma. I think that's what it was. And basically what it is this is my Necrozma check. Because I do think he is going to bring some variant of setup Necrozma. And I think, barring anything from Mega Venu, this set pretty much takes on anything on its team. If Almamole was Rocky Helmet, that's also a bit of a troll, but if it's not Rocky Helmet, then this set just completely walls it. It can't do anything to me. And it's going to be sub-Encore Power Punch Waterfall. Basically, if Mega Venu's out of the way, Necrozma's in. This is my Necrozma switch-in. If he wants to try to set up, I can just go for Encore. I can sub up on the expected Almamola, and then I can just... he can't... if he can't... he wouldn't be able to Toxic me. He can't go... Scald, I think, is maybe like a 2 hit to break my sub from Stand Almamola, and then I can just keep power punching and eventually get to +6. And with the lefties, I'll recover most of the substitute damage, and it's pretty much a potential sweeping set that just blocks any setup he wants to really do. Then we have the GOAT, Megaladios, one of my favorite mons. 240 speed to outspeed 240 timid to outspeed Infernape, 100 speed def, 56 special attack, 24 defense, and 88 HP. A bit of a weird spread, but it's I think it's pretty good. This nice little set that I cooked up with Pal Bird. Psyshock, Thunderbolt, Calm Mind, and Roost. There's not much. I don't really need a Dragon move in this matchup. Psyshock hits the Snorlax really hard. It doesn't do much to Registeel, but Registeel can't really do much to it. And I probably wouldn't really even stay in on a Registeel that much. It kills Togekiss right away with T-Bolt. T-Bolt is also good for the Almamola. Psyshock obviously kills the Mega Venu, and I just think this is a very good set. I think I don't think it has the potential to sweep, but it definitely has the potential to kill at least a couple things in the matchup. Then we have Let It Rip Beyblade Fortress. Let's get it with Spikes, Stealth Rock, Volt Switch, and Earthquake. Spikes, Stealth Rock, that's pretty much self-explanatory. We want to get these hazards up. Agua Berry, if he wants to get me down to my sturdy, I'll just heal right back up. Earthquake for predicting Infernape switch-ins, for predicting Jolteon switch-ins, for predicting Zygarde 10. Zygarde 10 probably doesn't want to take a lot from Earthquake. Predict the Rampardos if he has it. And Volt Switch if he's going to go into Necrozma or Togekiss to try to break this. I can just Volt Switch out, go into whatever thing is best for the matchup, and it'll give me a lot of momentum. But this thing is mainly just here to hazard stack. Then we have Man-Bear-Pig, the Choice Banded Mamoswine. And I did think Band was the best set for this matchup, considering his only check to this thing is his Togekiss, really? Because Almo, I don't think wants to switch in on a Banded Earthquake. And Mega Venu, it doesn't really want to take either the Earthquake or the Icicle Crest switch in that much. Nothing really wants to take it except for the Togekiss, but if I go for an Ice move predicting that, then it's dead. And then Banded Ice Shard is just really good in this matchup. very good priority against Zydoge, against the Togekiss, against the Aselgor. So this says really good. Thick Fat, obviously, to maybe eat HP Ice, HP Fires, mostly HP Fire, pretty much. And then we have Mighty Yenna, the Entei, Calm Mind, Flamethrower, Hidden Power Grass, and Substitute. I did not think a standard physical Entei set would be good this match, considering the Alomomola. But basically, what this Entei can do is it can sub up on an Alomomola switch in, get a Calm Mind up, and then Scald. I don't think, from a standard Alomomola, I don't think breaks my sub at that point. So with the lefties, so it's pretty much the same with the Azumarill. I can pretty much keep subbing up and Calm Minding, and then HP Grass definitely can OHKO after a little bit, and then not much on his team really wants to take it on afterwards. Because if I set up that far, then Aselgor can't really do anything to it. Mega Venu can't definitely do anything to it. The Krozma can't really do anything to it. The only thing that can really do anything to it would be the Zygarde 10. And that's pretty much it. Snorlax can probably do a little bit, but the thing is, if I do keep my sub up, I would probably be able to keep my sub up since the Alomomola would be doing so little with its attacks, or maybe he would force a switch. Most likely he would force a switch, but I do think that this set actually does have potential to sweep the team if it can set up like that. It has a little bit of speed to outspeed No Speed Toge. It has a little bit of Spin Def to help take the Scald hits, it has HP, and it has a little bit of special attack investment just so it could hit a bit harder. And that is going to be the team this week, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, I'm going to stop this, and we're going to go into the battle. See you then. Hey guys, and welcome back to the battle. Once again, we are going to be playing Blake, aka MoxieInfernape, coach of the Baltimore Braviaries. I have my coffee. Let's get into this game. So, first, a couple things for me to say about the matchup. If you guys have not already noticed, there is a surprising lack of a fairy flying type named Togekiss. Now, as I said before in the team builder, Togekiss is his only form of hazard removal, and it's his only ground immunity. So right now, seeing that he didn't bring the Togekiss, I know that if I set up my hazards, they're there to stay. They hurt his team quite a bit. The Aselgor, the Infernape, they don't really want to switch in on Stealth Rocks or Spikes. Neither does Venusaur, neither does the Krozma, because it really hinders him a lot. Another thing that he doesn't have, he didn't bring the Zydoge. Zydoge I didn't really have anything for. I guess he expected me to bring Chestnut. That's maybe why he didn't bring it. Because Chestnut is my only 1,000 arrows, my only good 1,000 arrow switching. Everything else on my team doesn't really take it too well. Fortress I think can take it a little bit well. Entei dies to it. Mammo takes a shit ton from it. Lottie takes a shit ton from it. Azu can probably take a little bit. And then Thundurus just dies to it. So, not seeing those two mons make me very happy in this matchup. Looking at the team though, also Regimola is not there. Regimola is very annoying core to deal with. I'm really glad that Regimola Venu is not something that I have to face week 1. But here, I think he does expect me to lead with Fori. So I do think that he's going to lead with Infernape. So turn 1, I'm going to lead with Latios. He is going to lead with his Infernape. There are either two options that I think his Infernape is here, and it's either going to be the Sash Taunt Stealth Rock set, or it's going to be a Scarf Fernape. Even if it's Scarf Fernape, I feel comfortable megging up and staying in with the Lottie, because it does have some defense, some HP investment, and if I get a Psy Shot, and even if it doesn't work out, I don't feel like I have to necessarily predict turn 1. So I'm going to be able to get a Side Shock off here and bring him down to a Sash. So if I get any hazards up, the Infernape is going to be dead, and he's going to get up his own rocks. So here, again, I don't really have to predict much. I'm just going to go for another Side Shock. I'm going to get some damage off on the Necrozma, which is really good. It is lefties. And here I'm going to go into my designated Necrozma counter Azu, as he predicts that and goes into his own Mega Venusaur. So this Azu set can't do anything to Mega Venu, so I'm going to switch right back into my Latios to take the predicted Sludge Bomb, as he actually goes for Leech Seed and misses. I don't think the miss was crucial at all. I don't think it really affected the matchup. Here I'm going to go for Calm Mind on my Latios. I don't think the Snorlax can touch me at this point, but as you can see, he's actually going to self-destruct, and that was a very bad mistake on my part. I should have switched into 4E on the self-destruct, but I didn't think that he would bring a move like that against me. I didn't. But Mega Latios is actually going to go down here. It's going to get the kill on Snorlax, but it's going to go down, which is very, very bad. Here, I'm going to go into Azu, and I guess he expected me to do some sort of maybe BD shenanigans. I'm going to go for a Power Punch to kill it at 1% if it did decide to stay in, because if he was Sash set, I didn't think he would have Grass Knot or anything to really touch the Azu, so I felt very comfortable just going for an attacking move there, and I knew he would have Taunt since he was the Sash set, so I just went for an attack. Here he's going to go into Venu. I'm going to switch into Fortress to take the Giga. I'm going to go right into my Entei on the predicted HP Fire. And this is the Calm Mind setup Entei. So right now here, I think that I can get a very, very free sub. And he is going to go into the Alomomola, which I was prepared for. So I'm going to get a Calm Mind up here, and I don't think the first Scald should break my Calm, but as you can see, he is going to have Surf, and that actually does kill my sub. So here, I'm going to go for an HP Grass. If he had Skull and I was +2, that would have killed me. And I actually didn't notice this until the end of the game, when people actually told me that it happened. But he did crit my Entei there with the Surf. The crit did matter. If he didn't crit me, it would have only done, I think, 32 max, which is a little big because it did force me to switch into something and take rock damage here. If it didn't crit me, the Alomomola would have been dead, and it probably would have forced him to go into the Selgor to try to kill me. So here, I'm going to go into Thundity, and what's going to happen is I'm going to go for a Psychic. I'm just going to kill this Alomomola right away. If he wanted to switch into Venusaur on a Thunderbolt, that would be fine. Here, he's going to go into a Selgor. I don't know what this thing would have for Thundity, so I'm going to switch into Fortress to take a safe hit, and he is going to have HP Rock. Now, I'm going to pause this for a second. Hold on. Sorry about that. Someone rang the doorbell, and for some reason, I have an 11-year-old sister who can't open a door, so I had to go do it myself. So, getting back into the game here, I'm going to go for Spikes instead of Rocks here. On the 4E, as he switches into the Mega Venu. You'll see it a little bit later, but I am going to stay in on the HP Fire. I didn't think that he would HP Fire there. I was thinking maybe he would go for a Sludge Bomb, predicting maybe the Thunder T to come in on the HP Fire, but he's going to go into the Necrozma here. I'm going to go for an Agility, and here I probably should have Nasty Plot. If I had Nasty Plot, I would have been able to kill the Necrozma here, but as you can see, it is only going to do about 82 to it. Now my Thunder T is basically, I can't switch out anymore. I am going to die to Stealth Rocks on the next switch-in, and he's going to go to a Selgor. And this is where Rocks kind of matter, and this is where he gets a little bit of hacks in his favor. He gets the 4-hit Water Shuriken. And actually, I wasn't. Oh shit! That's also misprep on my part. I didn't actually have the agility to outspeed a Selgor. I just realized that. Oh wow! I thought I would have. Oh wait, no, priority. Never mind. I'm stupid. Wait, don't mind me. I woke up like freaking not too long ago. That's why I have this coffee. So, so he's gonna go for a Water Shuriken. Anything but a 4 hit wouldn't have killed me. 4 hit or more wouldn't have killed me. So that's a little bit of hacks on his part, because it actually really did matter. If he hadn't done that, I would have been able to win the game right there if he hadn't gotten the 4 hit on the Water Shuriken. Because I would have just T-bolted this thing, it would have died, he would have switched into VNU, I would have psychicked it, it probably wouldn't have died, but then I would have just been able to go into Mamoswine and get the banded Ice Crash or Ice Shard off of it, depending on whatever health, Icicle Crash or whatever health, or Ice Shard, depending on the health of it. But he is going to be able to kill it with the 4-hit Water Shuriken, which matters a lot. So I'm going to have to go into Azu here, and the one regret I actually have with this Azu set is I didn't make it Sap Sipper. We opted for Huge Power instead on the set, and I feel like if I made it Sap Sipper, it would have been able to take on Venu better, would have been able to take on Isildur a lot better, because Isildur can run Sludge Bomb, but when I have some things like Fori and Klinkling on the team, and Mamoswine who eats Sludge Bombs, I should have probably expected that Energy Ball would have been the optimal move. So if I was Sap Sipper right there, instead of Huge Power, I would have been able to get a +1, and he wouldn't have been able to touch me, because he actually didn't have any moves on this Isildur but Energy Ball to hit the Zoomer really hard. So I think if I was, I feel like if I was, whatchamacallit, Sap Sipper would have been a little better, because I would have been able to get, it depends actually, I don't know. But I'm going to go for a Waterfall here, and that is actually a low roll on the Isildur, so that's pretty annoying, because he switched out right there. If that was a low roll, if that was a higher roll, he would have either died or had to stay in, or would have been in Spike's range, but then he probably would have just stayed in and kept Energy Balling, which would have forced me to Ice Shard with the Mamo. So either way, I think he would have won unless I critted. So here I have to stay with the Azumarill and go for a Waterfall, hope for a flinch to do something about it. And again, he has Giga Drain here, and he didn't have Sludge Bomb on the Venu. He had Leech Seed instead. So I think if I actually did go Sap Sipper this game, it would have turned out pretty different. Which, it's kind of annoying, but I am going to Icicle Crash here, and I actually am going to get the flinch the second time, and he's not going to be able to kill me with the first Giga, so I am going to be able to kill the Mega Venusaur. But then, because I got Spikes up instead of Rocks, the Isildur is going to be able to live that switch in, and even if I probably got Rocks up, I actually think maybe, I think the Waterfall would have killed if I've gotten the Rocks up, which is also a misplay on my part from getting the Spikes, because I think Isildur would have taken 25 instead of 12 if I gotten Rocks up. So getting Rocks up with Fori instead of the Spikes would have been much more optimal for me. But I didn't realize as I clicked it, I was just like, hazard. I need a hazard. But I guess it didn't really cross my mind at the time, because I guess I just thought like, oh, I'm going to get Agility with Thunder, so I'm going to be able to just sweep the game at that point. I kind of forgot Water Shuriken was a thing, and he did get the 4-hit roll. So that was very unfortunate. But it is a very, very, very close game. 1-0. Congrats to Blake for winning week 1. Things that I probably would have changed, maybe consider more Sap Sipper on the Azu. But if he did have Sludge Bombs instead, it would have been less optimal. So it was kind of like a 50-50 sort of thing, I guess, with which ability to bring. I think Huge Power was probably better, but you know, after this game, it just like, I just wish I would have Sap Sipper after playing this game instead of Huge Power just because of that. So it's just kind of like you wish you had it during the game, but you actually did. It's just one of those things. Like Huge Power was probably definitely the better ability, but it's just like one of those things you play the game. It's like, oh, I wish I would have used this instead. If I made, actually no, if I made MOY for it, I would have lost, because if I didn't flinch on that first Icicle Crash, then it would have just gigged. And I don't think the Life Orb Icicle Crash would have 2-hit KO'd that thing. Sacking Fori, not getting the rocks up, not getting my hazards up during the game, letting the Latios die to the self-destruct. I misplayed a lot. The crit on the Entei did hurt me a lot. I would have saved a little bit of HP. I would have saved some HP on the Thundy T, I think, if he would have done that, because he would have gone to a Selgor to kill it with Water Shuriken, most likely, and I would have gone into Azu. And then maybe double into Thundy on the Venu, get an agility or a or get maybe like a doubled. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's just like, if I've done this one play, it could have turned out very differently, and that's kind of like the syndrome that I had after this game. But I'm just rambling at this point. I'm focusing. I'm not focusing. But congrats to Blake for winning the game. He did deserve it. The Alma Mole really kind of pissed me off, the set that he had, because it was a very weird set. The fact that I didn't... I don't know, I feel like I could have played that a lot better. Sorry, more interruptions. I'm just going to close this out before I get interrupted again. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more NPL Chicago BEWEARS content as the season continues, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure to go subscribe to the NPL channel as well. Go check out Blake. He makes great content. Go see his side of the battle. Go see his team builder. Go watch his stuff. Beat up that like button down below. Leave a comment in the comment section. And have a good day. See you guys later.